What's going on, everybody? We're back with the Real Bodybuilding Podcast. This is episode number 151, and I am here with Mr. Neil Currey. How are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy. I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good, man. You know what? I want to get you on. Full disclosure to people watching, Neil is a hostile athlete. We signed Neil about a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And Neil reached out to me and said, I love your brand. I want to be part of the brand. And after looking at your physique, dude, I could not resist. So
Thank you,
you're
man.
now, well, plus I wanted to, you know what? A lot of people see Hostile as a bodybuilding brand only. And I think the fact that you're in Classic was good for me because I want people to know that we're more of a hard work brand than we are just a bodybuilding brand. And you kind of epitomize that. So I wanted to get
Yeah.
you on. I wanted to get you on to ask you about a lot of your savagery in the gym, like getting up at 3 a.m. and all this other shit you do. So anyway,
Yeah.
how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, as good as you can be. We're 3 weeks out now. So, as you've seen in my videos, like we're working hard. We get up early, go to bed late. Like, dude, I'm training like twice a day, cardio twice a day.
Yeah.
But all things considered, I'm good. I'm really good. We're in a good position. We just got this goddamn weight limit in classic, bro.
Yeah, I know. So wait a minute. So before we get there, did you say you're training twice a day and doing twice a day cardio?
Yeah.
Dude, how are you not? Well, I guess you're trying to eat up your muscle. So I mean,
Well, I'm quite lucky because I don't tend to I'm not losing any size. I'm not losing any muscle. Like, yeah, I'm a little bit I'm depleted
yeah,
because my rice portions in my meals are like 110 gram cooked, just like
yeah,
30 gram
yeah.
carbs. So, but in terms of like I'm struggling to lose weight doing 2 hours cardio a day and two weight sessions a day.
Oh,
Um,
okay, but one second here. We have to give people the entire backstory. I'm going to show people your physique.
okay.
I don't think it's possible that you can't be losing muscle because I saw what you looked like at like 240
Yeah.
and you were fucking shredded. So it's like I feel like whatever weight you've lost from 240 has to be partially muscle. Like, because your class limit, so for people watching, your classic limit's 215, right?
Yeah. 215. Yeah, exactly.
How do you wrap your mind around I'm shredded at 240 and I still got 25 more pounds to go?
Listen, it's a lot of people ask me this, right? And when when you do classic, you have to kind of like adjust your mentality to not look the very best you can. It's look the very best you can at the weight limit.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, I know that I look better at 240 than I do at 215.
Yeah.
And now, well, I'm 226 today, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I could eat two big meals and I would be 240 in the morning.
I know.
Like I'm so responsive that I can blow back up to that size that I was at 240 in this condition.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the way to get your head around it is you've got to just obviously when you're doing open bodybuilding, you're always managing, am I going flat? Do I need to refill? Am I getting more conditioned? Is my performance okay? With classic, it's like you're preparing for two competitions. You got to prepare for a weigh-in and then prepare to get on stage.
That's
Now,
right.
the
Yeah.
problem I've always had for that is I've had to struggle to get to 215.
Hmm.
Like, for example, at New York, right? The weigh-in was at 8:30 p.m. on Friday night,
Yeah.
and the pre-judging was 8:30 a.m. Saturday morning.
So you have no time to fill up.
So like I had 12 hours. So it's like you kind of go on stage bloated and flat because you try and fill
You're
out.
trying
So
to
it's a
fill up. Yeah.
nightmare
Yeah.
because you can be like, right, let's protect the waist, but then you're going to be flat
Yeah.
because obviously you just made weight. Or you can try and push the fullness, and you've got to accept that your waist isn't going to be as small as it could be because, like, I was up every 3 hours eating all night.
Or the third option is get fucking huge and do open bodybuilding.
Yes, which could be next year.
What I see coming from my world, if somebody told me to take off 20 pounds of muscle that I worked my ass off to put on, I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I'd be like,
Yeah,
no, I'm not doing it. I don't give a shit. That's it. I'm gonna So I struggle with that. How do you, so just for people who don't know, you won the New York. So you are getting ready for the Olympia. You're an accomplished classic physique. You have an amazing physique. Before we go on to the question, let me just show people real quick. So they can see kind of, for those who don't know you, they can see kind of what we're talking about. So this is you now at 225, 226?
226, yeah, that was today.
Okay, so this is obviously super flat.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you at like, and let just so people can see from the back. I mean, your proportions are crazy, Neil. Like the chest, the delts, the biceps, like you got accused of photoshopping your quads, did you not?
Yeah, because you see the mirror. No, it wasn't the quads. It was the whole body. So just go back to the one with the back shot that you stopped on a second ago.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, so right. You see there's a mirror behind me.
Yeah.
There's also a mirror in front of me.
Yeah.
And they're acrylic cheap mirrors on plasterboard walls that aren't flush.
Yeah.
So the reflection reflects off each other.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So if
yeah.
you look in one mirror, you can obviously see the other mirror, and then that reflection bounces back.
Yeah.
So you look a little bit like you're in a fun fair.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And at the time, there was having building work done on the ceiling, and a few of the tiles were dropping down.
Oh, okay.
And it looked like you can actually see on the side chest shot, you see the tiles on in the ceiling. One's a bit bent, a
right
bit
here.
lower above the red Ultraflex sign.
Oh, here, yeah.
So you see all this.
Yeah.
So people thought I'd like gone to town on Photoshop, but like, bro, I've not even got Photoshop. But like, yeah, I get accused of it, and it was, I think it was buys and tries, but you know, there's some haters on that page, and they were going in on me, and you know, I had to actually go. I was pissed off, so I thought, fuck this. I went back to the gym, and I filmed the mirrors.
Oh,
so
to show them, yeah.
So you could actually see that the mirrors are warped. Yeah.
This is a crazy shot, dude.
Yeah,
what do you weigh here?
The same, about 226.
Dude, your proportions are fucking nutty. Like if you got on stage as an open, how tall are you, Neil?
5'10".
5'10". If you get on stage as an open competitor at 250, 260 with these proportions, if you can keep your waist in check, you're gonna fucking fuck up a lot of people. Like this is really I've never seen proportions this wild. Like the sweep and the sweep in the quads, the thick lats from the front, the capped off shoulders, super thick chest. Like it looks very, very complete. So as we go down, though, you get heavier. And I want to go to where so people can see what you look like at, the heavier weights. What were you here? Do you remember? 79 days.
79 days out. So I'll have been about 245 there.
Yeah, I mean, look at, like this is the condition most open guys are going on stage with now.
Yeah.
So if you're 240, didn't we talk about your trunks as well?
Yeah, you absolutely battered me for my trunks.
I love
absolutely smashed me. And then literally, bro, next day I thought, right, I best get classic trunks on for these check-ins. And you'll notice since then there's no more bodybuilding trunks. But I've got the lady who does the bodybuilding trunks, she gives them for free. So my mentality is I'll save my classic ones for the stage, so they're fresh, and just wear the bodybuilding ones. But then I got absolutely smashed on Fouad's podcast, so I thought, right, I best revert back to the classic trunks.
It's funny. We talked about it on the podcast, and then you messaged me afterwards.
Yeah.
So what is that? That's weird that connection came through. But so okay, so you're 240 here.
Yeah.
Like, so I want to press you for a minute on this.
Yeah.
So if you're 240 there, as a strategy, I'm thinking, if I'm you, right, I'm thinking to myself, I do the Olympia, I got to drop, like you're pretty much ready there at 240. So you got to drop 25 fucking pounds to get to classic. And then if you want to do open next year, you're going to have to come back around and put all that tissue back on that you may have lost in the process. Is it is it worth it? Like, are you like, I gotta do this classic thing to see it through before I move on? Is that why?
Yeah. So this is the catch-22 with the classic. So my honest feeling is like I've been doing classic for 6 years, right? I turned pro when I was 33 years ago. And it's my first year, I was like, right, I want to make top 10. So that's my goal. And I got 3 top 10 placings. My second year, I was like, right, I want to make top fives.
Yeah.
And I got top fives. I come second in Tampa Pro. And that was my best result that year. And then this year, I was like, right, I'm going to try and win. Like, I
Yeah.
literally think got to a level where I can win.
Yeah.
And with me, it's very much about getting that final part right between prejudging and the stage. And I know if I can be on the money and fill up and not be bloated
Yeah.
and get that right, I can do well. And I knew this year I could. So then now I've won the New York Pro and qualified for Olympia, and I've applied for the Arnold Classic, and I want to defend my New York Pro title.
Yeah.
It's like once you get, like, I'm not saying I'm at the top, but once you get
No, no. Yeah.
towards the top,
Yeah.
it seems a shame to back out and change. It's
Sure.
like what in my head, what I would love to do, because like you said, I can't really go and do a big off season.
Yeah.
Now, after New York Pro, I put on like 22 kilos. I went up to 268 pounds
Yeah. Yeah.
before this prep.
Wow.
So I really pushed it. We pushed it hard because I wanted to put anything on I could before I cut back down.
Sure. Sure.
But it's like what in my head is I can't really do that again anymore because I'm having to train twice a day cardio, twice a day weights to make weight, right?
Get it off. Yeah.
I'm having to kill myself to make weight. So my plan is this year is to compete loads, to do the Olympia, do the Arnold.
And
Then
stay
there's
there.
like the Boston straight after, go and do that. And then there's a Q8. And then before we know it, it's Pittsburgh and New York again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then hopefully qualify for Olympia, take some downtime, do Olympia again in Classic,
Yep. Yep.
which will put me at like 34, 35 years old,
Sure.
prime to go for like the last 2 to 3 years, 4 or 5 years of my career in Open.
Now, listen, I'm not
Essentially.
so I'm not saying you should go open. You have an amazing physique. Like, I don't know the fact that if you go open or not, your physique is crazy either way. The thing I do want to ask though is why push the weight to 268 if you know you had to come all the way back down?
Because it's like every pound of muscle makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, I know that if I can put on all this weight post New York, and I didn't get fat.
Of course.
I just got big. Obviously, it held some water.
Yeah.
But my thought process was, if I can add a centimeter onto my arms in this process,
Yeah.
and a centimeter onto my lats, and then have to suffer to get down, it's worth it because that extra centimeter when I'm stood on stage could be enough just to put me ahead of somebody.
Do you lose that centimeter though when you're trying to cut all the way back down to 215 is what I'm wondering.
I really don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not. I know it's really hard to wrap your head around. I don't feel like I'm losing any tissue. I just feel like my muscles are empty of glycogen.
Okay.
And it's going to be a case of weighing in on a Wednesday and competing on a Saturday. And I think people are going to be surprised how big I can get from Wednesday to Saturday.
Wait a minute. So you got 3 days to fill up?
I've got 3 days and 3 nights.
Dude, you're gonna end up at 245 on stage.
6 days.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So that's actually really, really good news for you.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. So if you start filling for 3 days straight, because right now, and I'm not super knowledgeable about classics, so I'm literally asking, not implying. When you come down to 226, 25 that you are right now, or 215, you look more classic because you have like longer, leaner lines, right?
Yep.
If you take those 3 days and blow back up to 240, 245, whatever it may be after you load 235,
yep,
is it going to make you look more like a bodybuilder, or do you think it'll just accentuate your classic lines?
I think it'll accentuate the classic lines because for me, if I keep the waist small but make the lats and the shoulders wider and the quads rounder. It's only going to emphasize the look, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think like I got tiny little wrists,
Yeah.
you know, like small joints, and that'll never change. My structure it'll just be the pop and the
Yeah.
fullness. And I think when I start eating that much carbs, I'll dry out so much more as well, because my body will just soak everything up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be a more of a classic look. And obviously we're all in the same situation, everyone who's competing. So
Yeah.
we've all got that time frame as well.
Yeah. But
Um,
they all don't have your proportions. Like they're all, listen, there's some very, very good classic guys. And I'm not saying you're going to beat all of them. I'm not saying you're not going to beat all of them. All I'm saying is your proportions are very, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to show people again. Like to me, this is, and I'm not just doing this because you're our athlete. I thought this before I signed you, and it's why I signed you. This is very different than the other guys. Like, you know, this is very different than a Urs or a Logan or a Breon.
yeah.
So is it going to be, what I'm asking, I guess, is it going to be different in a good way, or different? Is it going to set you apart and make you look more bodybuilderish?
I
This is
suppose
so,
that's
this is so crazy, Neil. I can't. Yeah.
so that was a couple of days before the New York Pro that shot.
Yeah.
Like on a trial car after a trial 2-day carb load. So that was the look we was kind of trying to achieve on stage.
Yeah.
But we had obviously more time to fill up. But that is kind of what I look like
Loaded.
after a two-day load.
Yeah. I mean,
Clean.
this is, yeah. I mean, this is super impressive. So you're
And
doing,
that's the sort of fullness that I want to bring to the Olympia stage with far superior condition to this.
so you had a 2-day load and you brought this, you looked like this after a 2-day load. What was your weight here? Do you remember? Do you have a,
Yeah, I think it was 102 kilos.
so
Which
200
is
206, no, 208 pounds, something like that?
now more than that. So my weight limit is 98 kilos, which is 215.
So it would have
Because this is
been,
when I was with Milos, so we were talking in kilos every day, not pounds. But I think this was around like 222 pounds.
so here, 102 times 2.2, it's 224. So
224, yeah.
so you're 224 here. And then you had to come back down to make weight and then reload again.
Yeah, and then to put it in perspective, today I'm 226, flat as a pancake, in better condition than this.
I'm starting to see your strategy now.
So
I'm starting to see. Are you gonna, so the only thing I would fear, and I know, so who coached you for this, for the New York?
Milos,
Milos. Okay. So you've switched since then to working with Ben.
yeah.
Okay. Why did you switch?
To be totally honest, I went with everything was great with Milos, by the way.
Yeah.
Milos I'm still really good friends with Milos, and we've got a great relationship, and he's one of my idols, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know me, obviously, you know Milos, he's been on the podcast and he's a great guy.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously he's very busy, he's got a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing all his podcasts and he's very busy now. I've followed Ben for a long time, and I wanted to be with a coach for this prep who I could work extra close with, like on a daily basis.
I see.
To be more, in a word, to be kind of babysat through the process,
Sure.
without sounding silly.
Sure.
It's such a big deal to me, this Olympia, that I wanted to work with somebody who was like a full-time competitive coach and had me as, you know, as well, obviously, with Hunter and Dean and the rest of his clients, but as a priority, and have the time for me to be able to check in daily and tweak things daily. Yeah, so it was nothing to do with any kind of disservice from Milos. It was purely like the look that I wanted to bring to this Olympia. I wanted it to be such an extreme look.
Yeah.
I felt I needed a coach who I can work with daily. You know, like me and Ben talk every single day, and he's on me every night, every morning, midday. and he's checking things, he's altering things. Like today, I woke up at 226.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. I dropped in my weight. I'm not sure what time it was in Texas, but straight away he's like, I want you to back off on cardio this morning.
Sure.
And it's boom. And like in my mind, like every day I know I'm doing the exact right thing every second of every day because it's been monitored so closely.
Yep.
And I really kind of I got to know Ben a lot through the podcast actually. And he's very meticulous, and I like his level of detail. And I actually think he's probably quite underrated. Like he's very, very, very good.
I think he likes it. I think he likes it that way.
Yeah. He doesn't tell everyone what he knows.
No.
But he's like
I think Ben is not the kind of guy that some coaches will take a picture with their client on purpose just to kind of put it out there that that's their coach and like that's their I feel like Ben doesn't do that kind of advertising. He seems to shy away from that kind of thing. So I think he likes the fact that people aren't talking about him a lot. You know what I mean? It makes him feel better.
Yeah, mate, is like Wikipedia. So the other day, like I had like this little issue, and I was just struggling to like be regular to go to the toilet a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it's not too bad, like I'm fine, but I thought I'll mention it.
Yeah.
Anyway, next thing he just gives me this supplement I've never heard of, sends me a link from Amazon. I took it next day, and like my waist shrunk about an inch.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he didn't even he literally just texted the name of it straight away. Like his level of detail in every situation is just bang on.
Yeah.
And when you got that confidence, it gives you so much confidence. Like I'm so confident that my peak's going to be right, my digestion's good. Like it's been a perfect prep.
I mean, look, Ben puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's moved Dean into a house with him to make sure he's in shape. He Dean's a very, very good bodybuilder, but there's a lot of good 212 guys. So I don't think, they think Dean's going to win the Olympia, but it doesn't matter to Ben. Ben still wants him to be his absolute best that he can be. So he's left his home from his wife and son to go work with this person and make sure he's his absolute best. Like that's a
big commitment.
And Hunter and so he definitely cares. But aside from Ben, we don't want to make this an infomercial about Ben. Everybody knows Ben's a great coach, and if they don't, then it's their loss. What I do want to ask you is this look here. So you said you had 12 hours to fill up.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what you think. Do you think you still look flat here?
I think my waist is big, and I am 50% full.
Yeah, because when I look, like your legs look good to me.
Yeah, but my legs seem to fill up first.
Yeah, when I look across your shoulders, chest, I don't see the same thing I saw when we were looking at this. Right?
No.
This looks like you're full.
Yeah.
Whereas when I look at this, it looks like, you look good, but you can tell your stomach is full from eating and you still haven't filled up across the chest and shoulders.
Yeah. And it was just, and I was you can see like, even in my quads, I'm a little bit soft.
Yeah.
Like, because it's literally a time frame thing. Like we literally had 12 hours, dude. I went from being just absolutely flat to make weight to going on stage in 12 hours, and I didn't sleep all night.
Yeah.
Because I'd stay up to eat every 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I put six, 7 meals in throughout the night. And my waist obviously is not going to be as small as it is right now. In that situation, but it's one of those things. But you have to accept I'm gonna be slightly bigger around the waist here to get the fullness because I've only got 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some of the lads that are coming 3 kilos under the weight cap, they can start eating all week.
Yeah. But the reason I'm pointing that out is even though you won that show, I think you're going to be dramatically better.
Yeah.
At the Olympia, not just because of the added muscle, but now that I know you have 3 days to fill up.
Yeah.
That other look, the one in the gym, is like spectacular.
Yeah, mate, I've never looked, honestly, I feel like I've never looked good on stage. because it's
You're always
been the
trying to
same
make weight.
situation
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
I'm killing myself to make weight.
Yeah.
And then I don't have time to fill up.
Well, that's the Derek Lunsford effect. You know, we talk about Derek all the time about how he probably looks his best at like 220, 225, but he's got to come down to 212. And he's probably, even though he looks great at 212, he probably looks better at 225. So that's kind of the same thing you're dealing with, is having to come down that extra weight.
Yeah, well, I had this. I've got when Derek announced his weight, I think I had literally the same variance to lose as him.
Yeah.
Because I was 268 to 215.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
crazy.
what I started prep 24 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 24 weeks without a refeed or a cheat meal at the minute, bud. Like, I've not had one.
That's fucking, you know, people are probably watching this and they probably think I'm going crazy in my head, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm the cheat meal guy. Like, I love a cheat meal.
I know. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my stories. My missus is the cheat meal girl.
Is she?
Bro, last 2 nights ago, I was sat doing cardio for 1 hour at 9 o'clock at night. She had 2 double cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, 20 cheesy bites, sat eating
by herself.
Yeah, mate. She has a Domino's every day, like Ben and Jerry's. I'll have whey isolate before bed. She has a Ben and Jerry's, dude.
Why are you with her? You should tell her, be like, if we're going to be together, you need to eat what I eat.
Honestly, like, she didn't do bodybuilding, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not the kind of guy, like, by the way, she's like in great shape. I don't know how, but she's beautiful. She's in great shape.
I'll show people just so they're, because I just saw it right here. Is this your girlfriend?
Yeah, that's her. That's probably not the best photo of it. Yeah, there she is. That's Cheesecake Factory after the New York Pro.
You guys look great together. How long have you been together?
4 years.
4 years. Good for you. Are you married?
No. We probably will soon, though. Maybe Vegas, dude. I told her if I win Olympia, I said to her, if I win Olympia, we can get married. So I've got a few years yet, maybe.
Yeah. So okay, let's go back to this, please, because I'm not saying that if you're dieting, the person that you're with should have to eat what you eat, because that's a little bit fucked up. But I don't think I could be like my girl sitting there eating fucking Domino's every night, and I'm like,
I enjoy watching it, dude.
Are you one of those guys?
Well, look, the whole thing is for me, and I said this too when we all started out, right? I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
She does aesthetics, right? The Botox and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what she does. This is what I do, chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
And I said to her, just because you're with me, if you want to go out with the girls on a Saturday night and drink, you go and do that.
Yeah.
If you want to eat at Domino's, you eat at Domino's. I can't come to the drinks and I can't eat the Domino's because my profession's a 24-hour sport.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and what I don't ever want to be is one of those guys who make somebody else have to suffer because of what I do. And I don't want to sound like I'm like self-gassing myself, but dude, I'm mentally so strong. You can eat whatever you want in front of me. It don't faze me.
I've noticed
I know
that
I can't eat it.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, dude. Like, I want to get top 10 in Olympia. If there's a pizza there, it doesn't even appeal to me because it's just not in line with what I'm trying to achieve. And as good as it'll taste for 30 seconds, it'll piss me off for 2 weeks that I ate it.
I know. And one of the reasons I signed you is that I can see that work ethic. It's exactly what I wanted as part of our brand, because it's what our brand stands for. And it's how I was during my entire career as well. But that being said, I don't know. How's it even fun for her to eat Domino's if you're not eating it with her? Like, me and my girl, we cheat together. Like, she's not gonna enjoy like eating a double cheeseburger by herself.
Oh, she enjoys it. She enjoys it, mate. Honestly. So when we're traveling, I always put what she eats on my story for like a banter, because my followers absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Like, so just to put it into an example, so she did the other day, mate. She did 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. back-to-back clients. There was 25 women came into our house to do
Botox and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she didn't leave the room, bro.
Yeah.
And I knew she'd be starving. Yeah. So I knew she finished at 9 o'clock. So when she come downstairs, I had her a large Domino's waiting for her. I had her 4 donuts, Ferrero Rocher, Biscoff, twirl, and Milky Bar, 4 brownies, and a tub of Ben Jerry's.
Okay.
And she grazed on that till midnight.
Great. Grazed. You probably shouldn't use the word grazed about your fucking woman. Okay, wait. Two things. Okay, one,
She's gonna kill me for saying
oh,
this.
she's for sure gonna kill you.
I'm fucked.
One, I understand wanting to, order something nice after seeing her work her ass off for like, 12 or 13 hours, whatever. Are you worried that you're how old is she?
She's 35.
Are you worried that you're gonna make her fat?
Bro, she's got such a fast metabolism.
That crazy genetics?
And if she's the first person, if she ever started, like she has abs,
Yeah.
visible abs, like
Yeah.
she's the first person, if she ever started to get fat, she'd be straight in the gym.
Really?
Yeah. But when I bought her that large selection, it was more like, right, I'll get her Domino's, get her donuts, get her brownies, get her ice cream, and she can have whichever one she wants.
Yeah.
But she had them all.
She sounds awesome. I gotta fucking hang out with her.
You mate, when you meet her at Olympia, when we're hanging out after on the Sunday and the Monday,
me and her are gonna.
You guys are gonna hit it off. You'll probably be just chilling in the drive-through.
We're gonna eat together for sure. I'm trying to find. She's a very good-looking girl. Good for you, dude. This is another photo of you two together.
Yeah, that's New York Times Square.
So she does aesthetics in the UK. So anybody looking for aesthetic help or services, check out rejuvenaire_aesthetics, and she will take care of you, I guess. Right? Is there anything you want to say about it before we go off this?
No, she just won Business of the Year in the UK. She's
really,
I think it's the first post there on the left.
Oh, this one here, yeah,
top post. Yeah, she just won a big award.
Ah, good for her, man.
Because she also does she doesn't just do like Botox, she does like skincare, and she works for the British National Health Service as well. So they refer all like the clients who go to, if you go to the hospital with really bad skin, they refer them to specialists.
Sure.
So they refer them to her studio.
Oh, good for her.
And she does not just that, she does like proper skincare, and she's really, really good at it, dude.
Well, ask her. I got this brown mark here, and I don't know what it's from.
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Ask her. Say, Fouad needs your help.
Yeah, she'll sort you out, bro.
What do you see her for Botox and shit? Does she do your lips? Are those fucking real lips?
No, this is me, bro. This is me. But she does do my Botox.
This is me, bro, he says. What's your background, Neil?
Fully English, dude.
You're full English, so you don't have it you're not from anywhere else in the world like your parents?
No, English mom, dad.
Are your parents like raise you together? Were they divorced? Like, what was your upbringing?
Yeah, they raised me together, so they're still together now.
Okay.
I moved out when I was young. I moved out when I was like 16.
Yeah, really?
But yeah, and then I moved to London. I lived in London until I was 27, and then I decided to retire from employment at 27 and go into full-time bodybuilding.
Wait a minute. Retire from what? What were you doing from 16 to 27?
So I was a personal trainer.
Okay.
And then when I was so I went to university and I was a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And the manager of the gym and his partner at the time had a baby, and he took the leave, like the maternity, paternity.
Yeah.
So he took like the 9 months off work. And the guy who was like regional manager liked me, and he just said, like, do you want to run this gym?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like 19. I was like, yeah, all right. And I was the manager.
Wow.
And then I did really well. And then they gave me my own gym when I was 20. And then I kind of rose my way up for a company called Fitness First. And I was running like the biggest gym in the UK, like a £3.5 million profit gym in central London. And then I was an area manager running kind of like 6 gyms. And then I got hunted for a small boutique company to be the operations director.
Sure. And
then all the time whilst doing that, I was bodybuilding, like weightlifting.
Yeah.
And then, and I was doing great. I was earning money. I had a G-Wagon, all blacked out, and a nice apartment. But I was only really happy when I was crushing weights for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
That was the only really time. The car and the flat and the salary, it didn't make me happy, bro. I wanted to be a bodybuilder.
Really?
So, yeah. So I literally, mate, I rang my mom and I says to her, Mom, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to move out of my apartment, sell my car and move home. Can I stay on sofa for a bit? And she was like, no. And I was like, no, I need to. And she was like, why? I said, I'm going to go to Mr. Olympia.
What
And
the fuck?
she was like, what's Mr. Olympia? I said, it's a bodybuilding show. And she was like, this doesn't seem like a good idea, Neil. She was like, you're doing quite well in your career. And I was like, no, this is where my passion is, what I want to do.
Holy
Anyway, so
shit.
it took 3 years living in my mum's back bedroom to coaching myself to get my pro card.
Yeah.
And then, and then once I got my pro card, I've just been competing ever since and working my way up and just putting in the graft, dude.
So you told your mom, you're like, I'm going to stay on your couch for a bit. And you end up there for 3 years.
Yeah, man. It was
And
awful.
you let go of, and I know this is going to sound really materialistic, but I don't care. You let go of a G-Wagon, a great salary, and an awesome apartment to start all over. You know,
Bro, I had a penthouse flat in London with my best friend.
Are you serious?
Yeah, mate. We were running the big gyms on good money. We were doing, but all that stuff, like, it was great, but I only really, the best part of the day was lifting weights, like the nice cars and the nice apartments and the London lifestyle. Like, it weren't fulfilling me. I really, like, every day I woke up, I was like, right, I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to get to Mr. Olympia. That's all I wanted to do. And these 12 working hour days, and it was detracting from, and I was getting older. I was 27, and what I actually wanted to do with my life was slipping away. And this is why I work like I work, because I feel like I'm so far behind because I started late. So these people who train once a day, I think I'm training twice a day. I'm going to catch you. These people doing cardio once a day. I'm like, I'm doing cardio twice a day. I'm going to catch you. And bro, I'm catching them.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, I'm catching them and I'm overtaking them. There's people that were beating me in shows, in 2 years ago, and they were coming 10th, 12th in the New York Pro.
Yeah.
And I am overtaking them, and my trajectory is this. I'm going forward at a rapid rate, and I'm going to keep going at this rate because, every single day for me, time is of the essence, and I wish I'd have started earlier.
Neil, I got to tell you, I love doing this podcast. And part of the reason why I love doing this podcast is that I get to talk to people and hear all these different stories about how people got started and what landed them into bodybuilding. This is the first time, I think, from what I can recall, I've heard somebody, kind of had it made.
Yeah.
And decided, and it's not that you had it made and you still, like, Justin Shire is one of our athletes, has a great life, has a great cannabis business, but he hasn't let it go.
No.
You abandoned.
I had to let it go.
So there was no way to do both for you. You had to choose one or the other.
Well, I was 70 kilos.
Yeah. So you were
I had to bodybuild full time. I needed to do it full time. And, like, listen, when I met my missus, she was like, I said to her, like, listen, I got no money. Like, I'm skint.
Yeah.
I got, like, I'm gonna make some money soon. I was like, I'm gonna do well at this bodybuilding. And she said to me, I believe in you. I'm gonna support you. Let's move in with me. I got your back. And she looked after me, bro. And I'm not embarrassed to say that as a man.
How long after you guys started dating did you move in with her?
Well, pretty much maybe 3 months.
That's a really good woman. There's not a lot of women that would take somebody who's down and out, but has a dream and willing to go through that with them.
Because she knew who I was through, like, social media and Facebook, like, quite a while before we met.
Yeah.
So, and then when we got together, I would broke ass, no pro card, nothing like this. And I said to her, like, I'm gonna be a pro. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get to Olympia. It's not gonna take a minute, but I'm going to be spending, like, my whole days, every day, trying to do this goal.
Yeah.
And she literally got behind me and says, listen, we can do this. And we do it, we do it together. And, like, like, when she's eating these pizzas and stuff, like, she's my biggest supporter, man.
Oh, of
Like,
course. Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Like, that's all just kind of jokes and banter. And,
Yeah.
if I ever said to her, listen, cut the food out, I can't do it anymore, she would.
Yeah.
And now and now we're doing great. And, we traveled the world. It was a big thing when we won the New York Pro. We qualified for Olympia, and it kind of felt like everything was worth it.
Yeah.
Um, and, I'm not scared for the whole work now, get your reward later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm
Yeah.
down to graft.
Yeah.
It's uh, there's more to life for me. There's more to life than just money.
What?
Happiness comes from, like that sense of fulfillment
Yeah.
and progress and success and actual real happiness and waking up every day mentally happy
Yeah.
and doing what you love
Yeah.
makes you fucking rich.
I can't
Right.
disagree. I can't disagree with that at all. What did people around you, other than your mother, think when you were like, I'm going to give up all this amazing lifestyle I have? Because it's such a, like, when you talk to people, right? Like, the same thing happened to me when I was 20, and I was like, look, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. But when you're 20, people are like, ah, he's just some dumb kid. You were like almost 30. You're 27 years old. So when you're telling people at close to 30, I'm going to give up all this stuff I have and I want to do the Olympia. Does anybody understand? Other than your
No.
well, your girl wasn't with you then, but
No, she weren't. So no,
is,
mate, I got sat down by the managing director of a company and said, "You're doing the wrong thing."
because when you
Do you want?
when you told him you wanted to
Yeah,
leave.
like they were like, "Do you want a pay rise? What do we need to do to keep you?" My friends at the time were just like, what are you doing, mate? Like, you're never going to be able to get to Olympia. Like, you're never going to be a pro bodybuilder. Like, you're crazy. And they are no longer in my life. They're not my real friends.
Yeah.
They were my associates at the time.
Yeah.
And times change, and now my circle's small. It's like me, my missus, my training partner,
Yeah.
my family. And that's, they're the people that kind of I surround myself with. So yeah, everyone at the time were just like, this is a crazy idea, but dude, like, I believe in myself, so I knew I could do it. I knew I had the energy in the tank. I knew it'd take 5 or 6 years. I had a strategy. Like I said, I was broke. I didn't have any money for a coach to get my pro card. I did it
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Amazing.
out some way,
So
out swaying chicken thighs.
listen, so obviously the work ethic that you have in bodybuilding, which I want to touch on before we go, because it's something different that I haven't seen in a long time, but the work ethic that you have in bodybuilding must have existed in your previous job as well, as a personal trainer, gym manager, general manager, whatever the title may have been. That work ethic must have been there, or else they wouldn't have like let you rise up the ladder so far.
Yeah.
Where does that work ethic come from? Is your dad like extremely hardworking? Is your mom extremely hardworking? Are they both? Did they both instill this in you? Like, where do you get
I
this
think,
drive?
yeah, bro, like this is kind of deep and kind of honest, but like I'm a bit dyslexic, right?
Okay.
So I was like times at school, like I'd try and get kicked out of lessons so I didn't have to write a paragraph. Like they'd be like, "Oh, will you read this into the class?" So I'd swear at the teacher, so I get kicked out.
Yeah.
Or I'd not turn up for lessons. And I think because I hated the academic side of school so much,
Yeah.
people would tell me, "Oh, you're a failure. You're not clever." Like, I'm pretty clever. I'm just not. When I read, the words have a little bit of a disco party on the page.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's not that bad or anything. Like, my
Yeah.
grammar's fine. Like, you'll see sometimes on my posts on Instagram, I make some grammar mistakes
Yeah. Yeah.
because sometimes when I type, the words move a little bit, right?
Sure.
So
Sure.
I'm slightly dyslexic, which when you're at school all day, reading all day, gives you a massive headache.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the last thing you want to do. So I'd like not turn up for tests, not do my homework because I'd have
Yeah.
such a headache. I just want to go out and play football.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, So I got kind of told like, oh, you're good for nothing. You're never going to do anything. You're never going to have a career. And I knew that I just needed to find something that was practical, something that I could work hard at.
Yeah.
And I think just being kind of drilled by so many people at a young age saying you're not clever or you're not going to be anything or, you know, like you're not going to do this and that. It kind of lit a bit of a fire in me
Mm.
to graft. And like it was like the second I left school at 16, my whole life changed because I didn't have to sit there reading books to be seen as being good. I didn't have to do anything to do with literature.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could go and run gyms with numbers and
Yeah.
people and manage people and get the most out of people.
Yeah.
I could train and lift weights,
Yeah.
and I could apply myself where I'm good
Mm-hmm.
and where I'm strong. And as soon as I tapped into doing something that I was able to do good,
Yeah.
I kind of became very relentless at doing it. So like when I was like running gyms, dude, I were up at 4. I'd be on the tube by 5, in the gym for 6 when it opens. If the targets were 20 sales by that day, I go home when 25 are done. Never missed a budget in my whole career. Every gym I had, the membership moved forward every month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I became famous within the company for growing gyms.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'd grow memberships, make them profitable. They'd put me in a bigger gym. I'd grow that one. They'd
Yeah.
put me in a bigger gym. And over 10 years, they end up putting me in 6 gyms
Yeah. Yeah.
at the same time. And
Yeah.
that work rate is now what kind of reflects into bodybuilding. Whereas, I want to get up in the morning and I want to make sure that every minute of that day is maximized and every opportunity is maximized.
Can I ask you this? Because
Yeah.
something you said sparked something in my mind. I've asked this question before of people, and I don't know what the answer is. So it's literally just an open question. But sometimes I wonder if you find bodybuilding or if bodybuilding finds you. And what I mean by that is in my own life, people have asked me, do you love bodybuilding? And I love bodybuilding, but is it because it was the one thing I found that I felt comfortable and good at? Because something you said in your answer there was that you found something that you were good at and you enjoyed, so you were relentless about it.
Yeah.
But I wonder sometimes is that because you're able to be relentless because you felt good about it, or is it because you knew that's what you wanted? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if something else came along that you were this good at, could it have been something else? Or is
No,
it because you specifically knew it was bodybuilding?
I specifically knew it was bodybuilding the day cause I used to play professional football.
Yeah.
So from age 12, I played for like a professional team as like a youth.
Okay.
And when I was 16, I did my ankle to the point where I couldn't play football anymore.
Sure.
And they said to me, "Are you gonna have to go do gym work instead of football training?"
Mm-hmm.
And I got on the chest press. And I remember it was like a techno gym one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did like 10 reps. And I thought, oh, I love this.
You do right away.
And I loved it. And then I went home and I
Yeah.
thought I want to go. And then the next day I went and did it again on chest. I
Yeah.
trained chest like every day that week. And my chest was in bits.
Yeah.
And then I got like a load of tuna and pasta.
Yeah.
And then like I noticed like, and I just thought, oh, I love this. And I was like the only happy injured footballer
Yeah.
because I got to go in the gym every day.
Yeah.
And I just honestly I just fell in love with training. But at that time it was like I needed to earn money, I needed to work, I had to get a flat and somewhere to live, and so I needed a job. And then and it took me a little while to go right now I'm gonna do it and go full time. But to
Yeah.
answer your question, I truly love actual bodybuilding. Like
Yeah.
I love the process, I love the diet, I love the lifestyle, I love training. Like I absolutely love my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I couldn't wish for I would not change my life. I wouldn't want to be a footballer or a
Mm.
astronaut, or I want to be, if I could go back and start again, Me and my training partner are actually talking about this the other day. If we could change anything in our lives, we would do what we're doing now when we was 18.
Yeah.
That would be the only change I'd make. Know what I know now at 18.
Yeah, my experience, I feel like, is different. I feel like bodybuilding found me because I never wanted to be a bodybuilder.
Oh, really?
No, I thought it was fucking stupid.
You working the doors, right?
Huh? Yeah, I was
You were
working,
working the
I was
doors,
working
weren't
the
you?
doors. Yeah, but even before that, I remember looking at like a Flex magazine when I was like 18 or 19. I'm like, God, this is fucking gross.
Really?
I just didn't. I remember the cover too. It was Dorian Yates, and I'm like, I don't want to, because I used to read Men's Health, and I was like, I just want to look like a fit guy, you know. And
Oh,
then,
okay.
but after going to my first bodybuilding show, I was like, I think I want to try this.
Then
And
you
then
became 300-pound Fouad.
after doing it, I fell in love with it because it was a place I could go be by myself.
Yeah.
Because it was I dealt with my own social anxiety and whatever else. So I enjoyed being in a place that was just for me. And it wasn't a social outing. It was just me and the weights, and that was it. So that's why I asked that question, because sometimes I feel like bodybuilding finds you, and sometimes I feel like a lot of people I talk to on the podcast look forward to being bodybuilders. So for me, it was an accident. It was like it found me. I didn't find it.
You know what I love about bodybuilding as well? So when I played football, like soccer is called in America, whatever.
Yeah.
I used to hate doing a sport where I would try my hardest and then someone else would make a mistake and we'd lose.
Yeah.
So I used to always thinking I want to do a sport that's just me. I didn't want to play golf. I didn't want to play tennis. That sucked.
Yeah.
So it was kind of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But,
There is a reward in it being all on your shoulders.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so before you go, I want to walk through one of your days, because they seem crazy to me. So Ben told me a little bit about your days, and I've seen, you've shot a couple of videos for Hostile, and I've watched them, and they seem a little nuts. So you get up at 3 a.m. That's what your day starts.
Yeah.
Okay, walk me through. Get up at 3, then what?
Right.
Wait, first, why do you get up at 3 a.m.? Why do you get up at 3 a.m.?
Well, the thing is, I've got 4 training sessions to do.
That's
I run a company, so I've got 6 meals, and I run a coaching business online.
Yeah.
And so hypothetically, let's say I wake up at 8 a.m. and do an hour's cardio.
Yeah.
That would be then 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I've got to make my food. And so that would be like 9:30, 10 to eat, right? Well, my first workout's at 12. So then my pre-workout meal would be 11, and that's only an hour in between the meals. So that wouldn't work for digestion.
Yeah.
So to start off with, so what I'd basically do is I get up every morning at 3.
Yeah.
I kind of get on the scales, text Ben at 3:10, so he's got my weight.
Yeah.
Walk downstairs, no plug intended, silo 9 EAAs, straight on the bike, right? I'm on the bike by 3:30. I do 1 hour's cardio till 4:30. Okay. Yeah. Then I come downstairs and I do like my gut health procedure. Okay. And all my health supplements at like 4:30 till 5. Okay. And then at 5, I open my phone and go through all the messages kind of like from the night before with my coaching, and so when everybody wakes up, they've all got the replies and everyone's sorted.
Yeah.
And then I have my first meal around 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I have a little nap for like 2 hours.
Okay.
And
that makes sense. Okay.
So I have a little nap, 8:30.
Yeah.
And then I get back up, and then I just kind of have a little bit of downtime there, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do some posing rounds.
Yep.
And then at about 10:30, I start cooking to prepare for my pre-workout meal, which is at 11.
Mm-hmm.
Eat that. 11:30, drive to the gym. 12 o'clock, I train till 2. Post-workout, I get home and I eat my post-workout meal at 3:30.
Yeah.
And then at 5:30, I have my pre-workout meal again. I go back to the gym for 7 and train again.
Yeah.
I come home and have my post-workout meal.
Yeah.
Which is about 9:30.
Yeah.
I then do my last cardio session at 9:30, 10.
At home.
Yeah, on the bike at home.
Yeah.
And then my last meal is just whey at about 11:15, and then I go to bed. And that is my day, buddy. And honestly, I tried getting up at 5
Yeah.
and I can't get it in.
Can't fit it all in.
I end up pushing meals in with an hour and 20 minutes between them and getting bloated.
Yeah.
And you know how Ben eats, it's like
Yeah.
my meat portions are like 220 cooked.
Yeah.
This is a lot of protein.
Yeah.
You know, that needs 2.5 to 3 hours.
Dude, you're fucking
So,
going to bed at 11:30 and getting up at 3.
yeah, but then I get a little nap.
You get
So
a
like,
2 hour, you get a 2 hour nap in the middle.
yeah,
Of
I'm getting
somewhere,
6 hours. I'm getting 6 hours sleep,
yeah.
which
No,
is enough for me on prep. Like, on prep, you don't sleep a lot, do
listen,
you?
man, I get it. I used to go to bed at midnight and I'd be up at 3 or 4 in the morning, wide awake. And I would
Yeah.
literally I would check all my client emails and shit and I would try and waste like 2 hours.
Yeah,
So I didn't do my cardio till like 6 maybe or 7. That way I wasn't eating my breakfast too early and like starving all day long.
yeah. And when I've done the preps where you do one cardio and one weight session.
Yeah.
And you know what I do? I spend all day waiting for my next meal.
I know.
Just sat there staring for my next meal.
I
Whereas,
know.
doing it this way,
I know. You're busy.
you're just on the go and it's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Your metabolism's going crazy. You can
Yeah.
actually eat more.
Yeah. You're
Because
right.
you're burning more.
Yeah.
And like there's two ways to look at things, right? People might say, oh, that's crazy, it's overtraining.
Yeah.
Listen, people say I overtrain.
Yeah.
But I think they undertrain.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
And people say, oh, you don't rest enough. I say you rest too much.
Yeah.
Like, I've got friends that are in the 5th call out of every show who train 4 days a week and continue to train 4 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you do more, you're going to achieve more, I believe.
It's funny because it's not a there's no equation. You can't.
No.
The thing I don't like about bodybuilding is that people point at other people's and say what you're doing, other people and say what you're doing doesn't work. And I'm like, you don't know that, because everybody's genetics are different. Everybody recovers at a different level. Everybody is ready to train at a different level. So they can't say to you, you're overtraining. The only way somebody could say to you, you're overtraining, is if they see you and they're coaching you and they could see you getting worse, or getting weaker, or get whatever metric they want to measure, right? But you can't just look at somebody what they're doing and say you're overtraining. You can't judge that unless you have the metrics to actually quantify it.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, when you say to someone you're overtraining, it's usually when someone's knackered, like English word for fatigued.
Yeah.
Like, like when someone's at that stage, right?
Yeah.
Find me someone who says they need a rest or a deload because their muscles ache.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
My connective tissue hurts, my back hurts, my knees hurts, or my elbows hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And these people who train, like, I'm not thinking of anyone specifically, but these people who do 4 days a week, right, and need 3 days off, it's because the connective tissue and the joints need that. Now, muscles take 1 to 2 days to recover. Connective tissue takes 3 to 4 days, right?
Yeah.
So I train every muscle twice a week, and I train twice a day.
Sure.
And I eat enough protein to go through it. And when I go to see my physio twice a week, he's never heard me say, my knees hurt, my elbows hurt, my back's hurt. I'm just like, oh my God, my chest kills, my quads kill, my biceps kill. Because the way I train, when I've done the arms video that I think you might not have seen yet, but it'll be going up soon.
Yeah.
Like, when you see the way I train, I don't train the joints.
Sure.
I train the fibers of the muscle.
Sure.
So I train in a manner where you can train twice a day and you can recover from it, because I literally isolate the specific muscle. And the way I train, it's not mechanical tension, progressive overload. I train in the squeeze, in the stretch. I train high volume.
That's right.
I train slow concentrics, eccentrics, and I do intensifiers. So I never, ever pick something up off the floor and go, oh, or I never get out of bed and go, oh, like always my muscles are aching.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're fresh, I'm training them again.
Yeah.
And that anabolic, like the way I see it is like you train weights 12 times a week, right? That That's 12 anabolic opportunities, 12 times for everything that's in the blood to be
Mm-hmm.
pushed into that muscle,
Mm-hmm.
12 times a week to eat pre and post,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Well, I mean, this is also something. It also matters. What you just said matters the most, because John Meadows was my coach for a long time, and John used to tell me that frequency was just as important as intensity. So, like your frequency of training per week. But he used to say that the frequency was dependent on what you were doing in the gym. So you can't go into the gym 12 times a week and do a progressive overload or do some crazy shit that's going to leave you wrecked for 4 days. If you're training a certain way, then you can increase the frequency. If you're training a different way where you're demolishing your muscles, then you can't increase the frequency. So this is why I'm saying to you, people can't point at you and say you're overtraining, because if they don't understand your methodology behind your training, they don't understand what the data is saying as far as like your strength or your weight or anything like that. Nobody can say that except you and your coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a
So
really personal thing. It's a really personal thing, and and I think as well, buddy, like, I'm not sure what your opinion on this, but we're adaptive creatures, right? We
mhm,
adapt. So
mhm.
my body, like, so somebody who does, like, for example, you described what I do as crazy.
Okay.
For me, it's normal
Yeah. Well,
because
only crazy in a sense that most people will get up at 3 a.m.
yeah,
But
yeah,
training twice a day and cardio twice a day is not unheard of. It's just the time
no,
span in which you do it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like a lot of people will say, oh, it's crazy, or it's wild, or
Yeah.
but my body has adapted to that,
Yeah.
and I progressed doing that.
Sure.
And because obviously this isn't the way that Ben coaches, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I went to Ben, I said to him, listen, like, I did this progressive overload, I did mechanical tension, and then since I've done this type of training,
Hmm.
I'm the best I've ever been. I won the New York Pro and qualified for Olympia.
Yeah.
And I feel like my body's getting better and better. And this is what works for me.
Sure.
Can you coach me and let me still do this split and you run everything else? And for this prep, just let me do it this way.
Yeah.
And obviously, Ben was like, yeah, like, if that's what works for you, we'll
Yeah.
run that. And
Yeah.
he did say if it doesn't work, he'll pull it.
Sure.
And
And that
and obviously he's kept it.
Yeah. And one of the things you said, the most important part of what you said is the progress. So
Yeah.
the way I feel about it at the end of the day is you can overtrain chronically or acutely. So if you're training
Yeah.
chronically, you actually don't know it. Like, I'll put it this way. I've chronically overtrained before in my career. And what I mean by that is I would be tired and I would just drink a pre-workout and fucking do it, because there are guys that are insane. And no matter how tired they are, and you seem like you might be one of these people. I'm not saying you're overtraining. I'm just saying you seem like you might be one of these guys who, no matter how fucking like Roman's a good example.
Yeah.
No matter how tired he is, no matter how tired his body is, he's going to fucking get in the gym and he's going to go to work
Yeah.
because his brain tells him to. That is what I mean by chronic overtraining. Is sometimes you don't listen to your body and you're in this chronic overtraining state where you're like, this is just how I feel. Where you're not fresh, but you don't know it because you're just doing so much all the time.
Used to it. Yeah.
And then there's acute overtraining where you're like, you feel it like that day. You're like, oh, my bones hurt, my elbows hurt, my knees, I need to take some, my sex drive is down, my appetite sucks. And you can feel everything going to shit. That's more acute where you're like, okay, I need to step back. But the chronic overtraining is the danger, because that's the one where you don't recognize it and you just keep drinking that pre-workout and you keep going to work and you're slogging through the pain and slogging through and you're not really letting your body rest. So but the ultimate measurement of that, like you said, is the progress.
Yeah.
So if you're chronically overtraining, you're not going to see progress. You're not going to see yourself put on muscle or get better, get leaner, whatever the case may be. Whereas I think the progress is the ultimate data point that people need to recognize when they're thinking about overtraining or undertraining.
Yeah. And that's just why I love having Ben keeping
Yeah,
an eye on me, bro.
yeah,
Because he doesn't bullshit. He will
yeah,
say to me, and he hasn't yet.
yeah,
He would say to me, "You need to train less. Your body's diminishing."
yeah.
Whereas he isn't, because like I checked in today, right, and I thought I looked like that photo I put on Instagram. Like, obviously I sent Ben the full range of all the poses,
Mm-hmm.
and he was impressed by my fullness in
Yeah.
my back shots. She was like, this is nice and full. This is great. Keep going.
Yeah.
You know, and this style of training for me, it keeps me full
Yeah.
because I get to have them 2 pre and post meals, and the type of training it keeps you full. And I just feel like it's really hard to explain, but you know when something just works and the shoe fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Of
is
course.
and you know what, bro? I absolutely love doing it this way.
Yeah.
Like I thrive off getting up early and getting at it and
Yeah.
getting in the gym twice and hanging out with my bro twice a day and
Yeah.
getting in bed at night and knowing I've tried the hardest I can. Because, you know, regardless of where I place at Olympia, if I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, that was the best I got,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't grumble. Whereas, you know, if I'd have not tried my hardest and I come like 11th,
Yeah.
it'd have been like, oh, what if?
Yeah.
What if I'd have put it in 6th gear?
Yeah, I used to tell people this all the time. When I do videos, I would say this all the time: is you're the only one at night when you rest your head on the pillow. You in your own mind and your own heart are the only one who knows if you did everything right. Because
Yeah.
it's easy to say to somebody after the show, "Oh, I did my hardest. I tried my hardest. I did everything." You could be full of shit. You might not. You might be just lying to the person to make yourself feel better. But
Yeah.
you know, at the end of
You
the night,
know.
when you're by yourself and you're in your own head, you know if you fucking did everything, right? So it's
Yeah.
good. You know, it's funny when I was training, I would do 3 sessions a day. I would do my cardio in the morning, then weights in the middle, and then cardio at night for the exact reason you said. It would give me something to do, get me away from the food, and keep me busy. So
Yeah.
it was always my way. But listen, you're 3 weeks out for the Olympia. I didn't want to make this a super long one. We're already over an hour.
Oh,
I
really?
yeah,
Let's go.
yeah. Neil, I enjoy talking to you, dude. You are your work ethic is inspiring, and
Thank you, bro.
your story is fucking very inspiring, by the way. I hope everybody watches this podcast because they could definitely take some insight from your story and your life. Um I wish you the best, dude. The fucking Olympia's around the corner. We're gonna see each other there. I hope you fucking crush it. And I'm looking forward to it. Is
What
anybody
date? What date did you get in?
Tuesday? I think it's like the 13th or something like that.
Oh, I'm there from the 5th.
You're there from the 5th.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm taking a videographer. We're gonna do a daily YouTube every day while we're there. So I'm gonna
Jesus.
vlog the whole process, bro.
Dude, you're fucking insane. You're insane. I love it. I love how crazy you are. Yeah, you're getting there the 5th. I'm getting the week. So you're on the Monday. I'm getting the week after on a Tuesday.
Yeah, cool. So we'll link up when you get there.
Well, I'm gonna hopefully try and be in shape for the Olympia. So maybe I'll do a video with you or something when I get there. We'll train together or something.
Yeah, let's do it. We've got a photo shoot. My cargo pants came in my boots today.
Did they?
Yeah, they look pretty cool, man.
I'm looking for some really fun shit we can do during the photo shoot other than gym stuff. But I got some good shit planned. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be a good shoot, a bit different.
Yeah. Listen, Neil.
Does this mean we can't go cheese factory after Olympia because we've got to shoot the next day?
I don't think you're gonna get fat from one meal.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine. And it's not it's a little calorie, a little softer for a photo shoot. We don't want you like grainy hard and miserable. I want you to have.
Yeah.
We'll all go to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, please.
Is that your place?
Well, you know when Nick used to be on a podcast and he talked about that double bacon,
Yeah.
mate, I'm going to start drooling in a minute, but he started talking about basically I love the podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've always watched it, right?
Yeah,
And I sit and eat my breakfast and watch the podcast. I watch it in segments, like 20-minute segments when I have my meals. And by the time I've finished it, the next one's out. And I've always watched them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Nick always talking about this bacon double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And I thought it can't be that good. Like it. And I said to my missus, I says, when we get to New York, I'm gonna get one of them Nick Walker burgers. And she was like, and mate, it was so funny, right? I was in Cheesecake Factory after New York Pro. I turned round and Nick was sat there eating a bacon cheeseburger. Anyway, I had one. Oh my God, it was so good. I ordered another one. I had that, and then I had a cheesecake. And
is it actually that good, or is it just because it was after a show?
I don't know. I've never had one in a normal
see,
phase.
I'm not like a huge, like, I've been to Cheesecake Factory with Nick a couple times. Like, it's not bad.
What did you have?
What did I have? Fuck, I can't even remember what I had now.
Oh, that bacon double.
I didn't have the bacon double
You
cheeseburger.
need
Maybe
to
that.
try that.
Okay.
And then that solid caramel cheesecake. But this time it's even worse because, bro, I'm half a year
Yeah, what the
without
fuck?
anything.
What's wrong with Ben, man? 24 fucking weeks.
Well, I don't know. You need to ask him that. But I don't. We've not even discussed a cheat meal. It's never even been on the cards, bro.
You have so much
Because
weight.
I got to make weight.
Yeah, you have so much weight to lose, man. You can't afford shit.
And I don't get me wrong, like as disciplined as I am and hardworking as I am, I love food. Like
Who
I
doesn't?
love to eat. Like I love McDonald's. I love Domino's. Like, oh mate,
Yeah.
like I can't wait to eat. But I don't get carried away with it, right? But after the show, I would like to have a nice cheeseburger.
After the show, we'll all go out and fucking get something gross. We got a good dinner planned on Sunday night too.
Yeah, Ben said that'd be good. We're all going out.
I'm not gonna tell anybody. We'll just go secretly.
No. That would be pretty cool. But then I'm straight back to it because if I get accepted for the Arnold Classic,
yeah,
we get home and back on prep.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be short lived.
Enjoy one weekend. Yeah. Neil, right, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time during your prep to do this. Buddy. And maybe we'll have you on again before the Olympia or right after and talk about how it all went down.
Yeah, anytime, man. I'm
actually, if I don't talk to you before the Olympia, we're going to be at the booth. We're going to have the podcast booth in our booth.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Stop by for like 10 minutes and we'll talk about how things are going.
Yeah. Well, I'm in on Friday.
Yeah.
And then is a podcast on Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
But yeah, so obviously I'll be there. I'm working the booth Friday anyway.
Perfect.
And then Saturday, I'm going to do some time on the stand between pre-judging and finals.
Nah. Your Saturday.
No, do you not think?
We'll talk about it on Friday.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to just pop by for half an hour, just hang out.
We'll talk about it on Friday. I want you to focus on the show.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Cool. Anyway, go do your thing, dude. We'll talk. Cool. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good to catch up, bro. We'll speak soon.
Bro. Okay.
Bye-bye. See you later, mate.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.